Today I'll be teaching you how to make spaghetti. So the first step is you want to wash your hands and you want to have a clean surface to work on. Then we're going to chop up one large onion and you're going to want to cut off each end and then slice right down the middle and then take off the outer shell of the onion, kind of like a jacket. Then you'll just start slicing each of your onion halves. Then you'll flip it over the other way and start chopping it. When you do start chopping it, make sure you have your hand cupped in a little C position so that you have less of a chance of actually cutting yourself. Once they are actually all diced up, you can choose however fine you want them diced up. It doesn't really matter because they will be rendered down along with the ground beef in the pan. So I have a large skillet here and my onions are going to go in the pan. You will want a larger skillet than you do think, because after all your ground beef goes in and then all the sauce goes in, the skillet will be full. So for this I'm just using ground beef, and I am using a very large portion of ground beef for this because I do have a large family. You can use ground turkey, you can use whatever you really want to, and you can portion it for you, and you can make a larger batch than normal and put that in the fridge. You can put the leftovers in the freezer and then thaw them out for later. You can do whatever you want with this. With ground beef, you want to make sure all the clumps are out, because if you don't, some of it will be cooked and then other parts of it won't be. So I'm just making sure all of the little clumps are out, and then it's all fully cooked. You'll know it's fully cooked when it turns a nice brown color. So when you're cooking with ground beef, you might want to wear an apron if you have one in the house, or just not wear one of your favorite shirts or a nice shirt when you're cooking, because if it's greasy enough, it might come up and splatter. So something interesting about ground beef is that it does soak up a lot of salt and pepper and any flavor that you put into it. So I had actually salted and peppered this once or twice before I even put the sauce in. So you do want to go a little bit heavy on the salt and pepper, more than you think. So this is about how much pasta I would use for one person. It's about the diameter of a nickel. And then this is how much pasta I'm going to use for my family. We have a really big family. So this is what ground beef looks like when it's done. So I think it's really important to drain ground beef because there's a lot of grease and there's also a lot of water in it. Some people do this with a meat strainer, some people do this with paper towels, and some people just spoon the grease out. Do not dump this down the sink because it will clog up the drain. And after that, you can start adding the sauce. I just put in 2 large cans of pasta sauce and they were seasoned. You don't have to use 2 cans. I just like it to be more saucy than not. I also put in 2 large spoons of minced garlic, and then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of oregano and some parsley flakes. You don't have to do this. You can make this spaghetti all to your taste. I'm going to let this sauce simmer while the noodles are finishing up. Traditionally, my family mixes up the sauce and the noodles, so that's what I'm doing here. I am just putting the sauce in the same pot that the noodles were in after I strained the water in the noodles. Alrighty, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.